Hey there, y'all. It's that time once again to dig into my latest vinyl and CD finds. Got a nice little stack of CDs and vinyl here behind me, courtesy of some nice July 4th sales. We'll dig into it all coming right up. Stay where you are. Hey there, y'all. Welcome back to another Tim Talks Christian Rock. Tim Risto here. Hope you're doing awesome today, and may God bless your day going forward from here. How many of you had the opportunity to partake of some of the July 4th sales that were going on online, in particular with the big three Christian music vendors? That'd be Boone's Overstock, Girder Records, and Rox Records. Well, I certainly did. And I've found a lot of stuff. I got a lot of shipments that are out. As a matter of fact, I've just gotten a couple in so far that I'll share with you today. I think everything today is actually from Girder, if I remember correctly. So anyway, they all had some great sales. Girder in particular had some $15 vinyls, which I'll show you those today. I think I've got 4 vinyls I picked up. And a lot of $5 CDs. I picked a number of those up too. So anyway, I've got these shipments that came in that I'll show you today. There will be a lot more in the coming weeks and months as well too. Some pre-orders and stuff that'll be coming in. So a lot more of these latest vinyl and CD finds videos will be coming here over the rest of the summer. Some good stuff out there. Some really good stuff and some unique stuff too. These sales here, I was able to find a number of things that I was looking to kind of fill in some gaps in my collection a little bit, and also look for some newer stuff, some more recent items to come to the right price point before I decide to pick them up. You know, certain items hit a price point and you're like, I'll pick it up for that. You know, I don't want it for some of these other prices, but when it hits that sweet spot, that's when I'll get it. And a number of them did for this July 4th sale, which some of them are still going on right now. I know there was, stuff that was July 4th weekend only. Some stuff spilled into this week with some of the vendors. And I think some are still going on now. And of course, the merchandise changes. Some stuff they sell out of, they rotate in some other stuff to replace it. But some good items, So let's go ahead and dig in, show you what I got. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the vinyl, as always. That way, you vinyl heads, if you don't want to stick around for the CD portion of the video, you can choose to exit after that. But let's start with the vinyl, and we'll start with this one right here that's on the thumbnail. And that's this album by Van Zandt, Always Look Up. This is actually from last year, 2024. It's one I've been eyeing for a little while. It's one that I owe drawing my attention to, courtesy of Mega Jeff over at Mega Jeff's Rock Hard Vinyl. Jeff, thanks for referring this album. I've been eyeing it ever since you first drew my attention to it, and really waiting for that right price point for me. And it hit it here during this July 4th sale, $15 for brand new vinyl. And this is from Frontiers Records, actually, along with Girder Music. And it says here on the hype sticker, you've got Johnny Van Zandt, formerly of Leonard Skinner, of course, Donnie Van Zandt, formerly of 38 Special, on this black splatter on crystal clear vinyl, and exclusive for Girder Records for this particular vinyl color combo. Anyway, this is a neat album. I haven't listened to it a lot. I've listened to some of the digital samples before. Haven't listened to it a lot, but it drew my attention. It's got kind of stuff in the vein of the Van Zandt style. I don't think they've ever actually done a kind of a full-on Christian album before. I think some of their music has had, obviously, some Christian elements to the lyrics and things like that, but they've never done a full-on Christian album before. So I believe, if my memory serves me correct, this is really their first one. And it's kind of got a little bit more of a praise and worshipy type angle. Of course, the Van Zandts have a little bit more of that, kind of country rock style, a little bit southern rock. That's what I'm looking for. So there's a little, tinges of that in there, but it's a little bit more praise and worshipy than I had first thought when I started listening to the samples. So I have not dug into this yet. I haven't even opened it yet. We'll do so here on camera just to take a look at the vinyl. I love this cover art. It is really, really cool. This kind of almost woodcut look to the artistic design of it. It's really very awesome. So I'm looking forward to digging into this one. I was kind of waiting until I could pick up a vinyl copy so I could just sit, put on the headphones, and experience the album more that way rather than hear so much of it online digitally first and then kind of, be underwhelmed or be anticlimactic when you finally get the album to listen to it. So I like to kind of experience it in full from beginning to end as much as possible whenever I can. So looking forward to doing so with this probably tonight, actually, as a matter of fact. So let's go ahead and dig into this, and we'll see what the inside looks like and what the vinyl looks like. All right, here's the front album cover art again, free of the plastic wrap now. You can see a little better. Here's the back. Kind of a plain, simple, straightforward back. Songs on here are Awesome God, Stand Up, Warrior, There You Are, Speak His Name, Holy Moment. That's all side A. Side B is Why God Brought Me Here, Praying, It's Up to You, Leaning on the Cross, and Jesus Christ is number 11. This is a gatefold, so you open it up to this really kind of nice little interior with some photos and all the band lyrics, or the song lyrics, I should say, on here. But some cool photos. Here is the vinyl itself in just a simple paper sleeve, no polyurethane in there. And then here's the vinyl itself, which is a really nice black and clear splatter. Just the flip side. Pretty cool addition for sure. All right, so that was the first really good $15 vinyl find that I picked up, one that I had really been looking forward to finding at about that price range. So I was happy to find that one because, again, that was that Van Zandt album is a more recent one. It's from 2024. So to find it brand new, sealed for $15 out, that was a great sale price on that. Couple others that I've been eyeing. This one right here, Deliverance Learn. Of course, this is a great Deliverance album from back in, 93. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you probably know, Tim, don't you already have that vinyl? Well, yes, I do. I think I have the black vinyl of this one. However, they have just reissued this album here in 2025 on a colored vinyl, first time on colored vinyl. And when it first came out, I was kind of like, I don't know. I've already got it. I'm happy with it. I think they even have a gold disc CD of it out too, I believe. I think I have that. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, I've got the album already. So I thought not a big deal to get it on colored. What's different about it? Just the color. But then they dropped it here on the sale to $15, and I thought, you know what? I'll go ahead and buy it. I'll pick it up. So I think basically everything about this is the same, except for the color of the vinyl. It's got the insert, which I'm pretty sure, I have to double check, pretty sure this is the same as the insert from the previous release. But it does have a black paper and polyurethane sleeve, and then comes in this nice orange vinyl edition, which is pretty cool. Got the retroactive logo there on the flip side, and the Deliverance guys from the front album art on side A. So kind of nice. I've been pretty loyal about picking up almost all of the Deliverance vinyls. Like, I've got pretty much all of them. And if they've had different color variants or different reissues, I've tried to pick those up. I've got like the yellow color variant of Weapons of Our Warfare. I've got the picture disc of that. I've got Subversive Kind. I think I've got the red colored version, the green colored version, and then the splatter colored version that they came out with, I think, last year. So, I've tried to pick up all those because I really love Deliverance, and I enjoy I like collecting their vinyl collection in particular. So, again, I wasn't going to buy it on this one until it dropped to that right price range, and I thought, all right, yeah, I'll pick it up. So if you're looking for this one, if you don't have the previous release, the black vinyl release, which I don't know if it was in any other colors, I don't think so. Here's your opportunity. In fact, I'm pretty sure this was the first time it's been reissued in a color variant on vinyl. So if you're looking to pick this album up and you'd rather have a color variant, here's your opportunity to do so. Not positive, but they might still be on sale. Worth checking out over at Girder Records. All right, another great $15 vinyl find that I was very happy to see drop down in price because I'd been eyeing this album for a while is this one here, Mad at the World, Seasons of Love. I'm not super familiar with Mad at the World. I know a number of their past albums, at least by title and by cover art. Hope is one of them. I know Randy Rose is a part of this. Fantastic, fantastic artist. And I know a little bit of their music, but I have not taken the opportunity to familiarize myself with them as much over the years as I've always wanted to. This is an album I'd been eyeing because it's a colored vinyl. I believe it's a gold kind of colored vinyl. And again, I haven't opened it yet, but we'll open it here on camera. And so it's one I've been eyeing and thinking, I'd love to start with this album. For some reason, I think I read some other reviews of it, and I was like, this would be the one I'd like to start with. And so I was waiting for this to come to the right price. I'd had this in my cart several times in the past, just hadn't closed the deal, as they say on it, until I saw this drop to $15 here on the July 4th sale. And I was like, that's it. I'm getting it. And I believe, don't quote me on this again, but I'm kind of going off a memory, I think they sold out of the copies that they were selling for $15. So I don't think it's available anymore on this. But double check me on it. Go ahead and visit Girder if you get a chance and see if it's still there at $15 or not. But I was just super excited when I saw this. So really looking forward to digging into this album and getting to know the band better. If any of you are big Mad at the World fans, what is your favorite album from the band? I know they've got, I think, 5 or 6 at least albums. Probably missing some. But I could probably, if I thought hard enough here, I could probably come up with the names of a number of their other albums, album titles off the top of my head, but this is the one that was kind of luring me in the most. So anyway, let's go ahead and crack into this and see what it looks like. All right, so here is the insert sheet with the lyrics on one side, and of course credits and photos of the band members here listed on the flip side. Roger Rose, Randy Rose, Mike Pendleton, and Brent Gordon are the band members for Mad at the World. I know Randy Rose a little bit online, follow him a little bit, keep up with him. I think Roger Rose may have been kind of the linchpin for the band, I believe. But anyway, really cool here. This is remastered. This is a 2024 remastered edition, remastered by Rob Caldwell. And also shout out to copy editor John De Laurentiis, too, who did work on this edition as well. Comes in a black paper and polyurethane sleeve and in this cool gold looking edition, which I think is really neat. Goes in with some of the detailed colors in the album art itself too, which is really neat. Seasons of Love, and that gold color I think fits well with that. So again, an album that I was waiting to hit that price point. It did, so I picked it up. Again, not one I'm really familiar with. Can't comment a lot about the music, the songs, or a whole lot about the band as yet, but look forward to an upcoming review of this album as well too. I got lots of great albums to review. I really want to get busy on doing more album reviews because I've picked up so many great things. So many of them ones that I personally am not familiar with. So I look forward to listening to them and talking more about them and getting feedback from y'all as well too. But another great $15 record find. All right, next up is a previously owned vinyl that I picked up for around that $15 price point too. I think this one was like $13 or $14. Previously owned vinyl by Youth Choir, Voices in Shadows. This was their second album from about 1985, I believe. And, obviously previously owned. I think Girder only had one copy of this for sale, so I was so happy to find it. It was early on in the July 4th weekend sale, I think shortly after the sale went live. And I saw this, and I was like, yes, I must have this. Been trying to collect the Choir's back catalog on vinyl as much as possible. I've had a lot of new stuff or more recent albums that they've released direct to vinyl. They also had a bunch of Kickstarter campaigns where they've been remastering and releasing their albums on vinyl, those that either haven't been on vinyl or those that were, but, again, remastered, and also remastered CDs. They've had some great Kickstarter campaigns. And so I've tried to pick some of those up too. A few that I missed when they came out, I've had to spend a little bit more for. I think Shadow Weaver was one of them. I spent a pretty penny on that vinyl album, but I love that album a lot. So then I've just been looking to collect more of these that have not been reissued, some of their older stuff, which I actually like the sound of their older stuff too. I mean, I love their newer stuff for sure, but their older material when they were still youth choir, before they changed to choir, is just really cool stuff. So this one's from '85, again, Broken Records, pre-owned vinyl. There's the, again, that front cover art's kind of cool. 3 band members there. At this time, you had Mike Sarbre, Daryl Doherty, and Steve Hindalong. So kind of cool. I kind of like that front album art. Looks like it's from a photo, or just that they somebody created an artwork from a photo, or just created an artwork of them. Back is pretty simple. Here's the inside sleeve. Again, pretty cool. And this, of course, is just a black vinyl with a very simple label on it. But a good album. Good album. Not necessarily, it was early stuff from the band, so not necessarily top tier stuff compared to how they develop their music and sound going forward. But I do like sound, like this album. Trying to think of some of the songs here that kind of struck me back in the day. This one I guess I'm not as familiar with because some of these song titles aren't. I think Someone's Calling on side 1, track 1 is the one I'm probably most familiar with. Some of the others I'm going to have to listen to again to refamiliarize myself. I think I have this one on CD. It's combined with another album, I think, on the CD, 2 of their albums together. But love being able to have a vinyl copy of that album as well. All right, on to some CDs. These are pretty much all, I think, $5 CDs that I found. And we'll start out with these 2 Barnabas albums. I actually had previously collected all these remastered and reissued Barnabas albums on CD from Retroactive Records, except for their first 2. Because I'd actually had this Millennium 8 CD previously that has both albums on it already. This was an album that was issued, or CD that was issued when? I don't even remember. I don't even know what the date is on when this up. But this was from a while back, obviously. I found it on eBay. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's got both albums on it, including a extra track, previously unreleased 45 RPM of Nicodemus from Hear the Light album. And so they combined, the 2 cover arts on here, and you get both of them on one CD. I was like, well, great. Well, with that, I don't need to go and buy the individual CDs. Plus, I save space. They're both on one. But I thought, well, since I've got all the other 3 Barnabas albums on remastered CD, Retroactive Records, part of their Legends Remastered series, I thought, well, if those first 2 ever come on sale at the right price, then I'll pick them up. Well, they did. Again, $5. Here's the Hear the Light CD for $5. I couldn't pass it up. I do believe they sold out of their $5 copies of both these albums. And then here's what's this one? Oh yeah, Find Your Heart a Home. Which actually I think this was their first album, I believe, if I remember correctly. This was from 81. Oh no, so yeah, Hear the Light was the first album from 80, and then 81 was Find Your Heart a Home. So anyway, nice to add them to my collection again, to kind of finish my collection of the retroactive editions of these albums. $5, you just can't pass them up. These are not as strong, in my opinion, as their later albums were. Of course, the classic Approaching Lightspeed, Feel the Fire, and Little Foxes. Little Foxes is a little raw, a little more unfinished sound to it, but Approaching Lightspeed is an all-time classic Barnabas album for me. I love it. And Feel the Fire is a pretty close second. And then Little Foxes has a lot of unique things to appreciate about it. I really like that album. So these are not quite in the same vein as that. A little more experimentation with kind of what their band was going to sound like. Just a little more different styles of some of the songs. Some kind of call it a little more punk rockish sound to some of their songs and less rock and metal. But still good albums, and there's some neat stuff on them, so I'm really glad to have them. So those were two I picked up for $5. Another one was the Union of Saints and Sinners. The Union of Sinners and Saints. I always mix that up. Their play on the name was on purpose. The Union of Sinners and Saints. This was their first album. This was the band that's, the mashup of Whiteheart members and, of course, John Schlitt from Petra. So this was the first album that they put out. This is a, as it says here, expanded edition that they put out on CD, which includes 12 tracks plus some bonus tracks, 4 bonus tracks, including an unplugged medley of 4 songs. So I've never been just hugely over the top with this kind of mashup band. The vibe of the mix of Whiteheart and Petra just isn't quite what I thought, it might be. And they're good. There's nothing wrong with them. They're good. And I love all these guys. I love the band members. I love what they're doing. It's just not quite the cup of tea that I was hoping for when you hear about a mashup of Whiteheart and Petra, because it's select members too. It's not the full bands from either of these. But anyway, it's neat to have. I do like the music. I think the original had a photo card with it, but this doesn't appear to come with one. And anyway, I had their second album, One More Shot, I think it's called, and had picked that one up on CD in a previous sale. And I thought, well, again, waiting for this one to come in a good sale, $5, so I picked it up as well. They also had the vinyl of the second album, One More Shot, for $15 at Gerger as well too, but I passed on that one. I actually prefer this first album over the second album. But anyway, there's that. Next up, another $5 CD find at Gerger Records is Alarm, Killing Time from 2023. This is another kind of mashup band. I'm trying to remember who's all involved with it. I know I think Anders Mossberg from Jerusalem. I think there's some guys from Edina Dahl. Forgot who else here. Let's see if I can get to the tracks here. Here's the guys that are part of this band. So it's kind of, again, another mashup band of some former Christian bands, you could say, that got together and formed this band. And I remember when this came out in 2023, I was very curious about it because I love Jerusalem. So anytime any members of Jerusalem are involved, I'm very curious about it. And I listened to some of the tracks. I said, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll pick it up. It wasn't something that just overwhelmed me that I had to have right away, but I kept eyeing it all the time and then kind of forgot about it for a while. Here it popped up for $5. I was like, I'm grabbing it. So again, one of those that I'm not super familiar with because I just haven't listened to it a lot and look forward to getting to know it better now that I have my own physical CD copy here. Okay, last but not least is Grace, album by Gideon's Army. This is their third and final album that this band put out. It's from 1990. This is file under, it says here on the back, classic rock. This is a classic rock, kind of a Jesus rock band. They had 2 previous albums, A Rock and Roll for Your Soul right here, which I had picked up in a previous sale as well some time ago. This was from 82 originally. And then Gideon's Army, Warriors of Love was their second album, which is from 85, which I'd also picked up in a previous sale. And then here, this third one, Grace, which came out in 1995, years after that second album. Kind of a bit of a spread of time between these first two and this one. But each album kind of has a little different sound. I'm not as familiar with this third one, Grace. Again, another reason I picked it up is to become more familiar with it. But the first one, I think, had a little more Jesus rock kind of elements to it, a little more progressive vibe to it. And this Warriors of Love actually had more of has more of a maybe AC/DC vibe to it, something like that, or Van Halen-ish, I guess you could say, maybe more so. So probably Van Halen more so. And anyway, so they progressed in their style there. And now this Grace, this third album from 1990, I'm not real sure. I think it probably moved things forward a little bit more, maybe out of the 80s a bit. But I look forward to hearing how this one sounds. But this was the one that I was lacking in this collection since I had the other two. I wanted to get the third album to kind of complete that little collection of their trilogy of albums that they put out. Kind of a unique band, and I look forward to hearing this third album. They're all in these little, whatever you call them, little digipacks kind of albums, but nice additions to have. Glad they've been made available. This is probably another band that would have been forgotten if it were not for these from Retroactive. Yeah, these are all from Retroactive. If they had not preserved these albums and put them out, we probably would have long forgotten about them. I think this one back in the day was a pretty much sought after vinyl originally, and I don't have any of these on vinyl, but I kind of like having these nice little compact CD editions. So Gideon's Army, another $5 CD that was very exciting to find and pick up. All right, y'all, that's all I got for today. Just a nice little quick glance through all of these wonderful $15 vinyls, $5 CDs, some good sales out there. A number of other things I looked at, too, that I have not picked up in the past that I almost picked up this time, including some Halo CDs that were $5. Liaison, I still haven't picked up any of theirs. Those were $5 at one point. I could have picked them all up for, $15, $20. I forgot how many albums they have, but I passed on those. Number of other things, too, that were just thinking about doing it, but I got to be a little careful with the spending. Got to spread things out a little bit. So some of those I had in the cart and then put out. But I really like what I picked up. I'm very happy with it. As I said, there's a number of other sales that I've partaken of and shipments that'll be coming. So I'll be sharing more about those in the coming weeks and month or so. And I intend to do a lot more album reviews, too, because I've gotten so many great albums. Many of them I'm just not familiar with, so I want to dig in, do some full video album reviews on those. So anyway, what'd y'all think about any of these finds? Any of these resonate with y'all? Did you pick up any of these on sale? Or what items did you get on the July 4th sale? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. That's all I got for today, y'all. Go out and listen to some great Christian rock. And above all else, remember, stay in God's Word. Blessings, y'all. Have a great one. Bye-bye.